Since our last update, we've been able to travel back to St John to pick up all of our stuff from Australia. We hired a van with 6 gears and a manual, and I had to drive, which was a bit of pressure to go back and pick everything up. While we were there, we caught up and had lunch with some of the Piper gang that we met when we were moored at St John, so we had a nice lunch with them. And then we got back to Chalon-en-Champagne and unpacked all our goods, which included jars of umami puppy, which we were very happy to get, best stuff ever. And we also, of course, being Aussies, we packed some Vegemite and had that on a baguette because, you know, bringing the French in. So we've been through, on this trip, we've been through some more locks with waterfalls in them this time, and lift bridges that you have to wait for that are connected to the locks. And we spent just over a week in Chalon-en-Champagne, which was very nice. During the heat wave, it was really hot, but it was a good spot to be in, and Chalon-en-Champagne was a nice place. So we sat there for a few days, which was lovely. And now we're in a rush again, heading towards the Soane, because the Champagne and Bourgogne that we're on is closing on the 17th of July, and that weed is part of the problem. So we're clearing the weed hatch all the time. This was our first big day, and when we got to Joinville, we went and had a nice refreshing ale to celebrate making it that far. We're in a mad dash to get to the Soane before they close this part of the canal for water levels and weed. Tony having a nice little chillax under a tree. This was the chateau at Joinville, which was really quite pretty to have a look at. Apparently the guy that built it just built it to have parties in because he didn't want his mates to have to schlep up the hill to his castle. And Joinville was really pretty. Little restaurant there on one of the canals in the town. There's Tony looking as happy as ever, with like a kid in a candy shop with his banana split, and 6 minutes later looking very sad. On the way past St Dizier, we went past an RAF base and we got to watch some of the planes taking off. You can see one taxiing their way in the distance, but they were loud going over. And our little spot that we stopped in Joinville, which was quite nice, and we had some lovely evening music to celebrate, courtesy of the frogs. Fortunately, they didn't keep it up all night, but it was a nice little spot to stay in, and we got to have at least a day in Joinville and a bit of a break before we make the mad dash towards the Soane. And we've had a few hiccups along the way, but it hasn't been too bad overall. I'll leave you with Tony explaining some of our adventure.
Well, we got off to a good start into the first lock at 8 o'clock, only to find the front gate won't fully open because of all the bloody weed in there. So while we wait for the Eclusier to finish his morning coffee and come and do something, the human dynamo has decided she's going to empty weed out the lock while she waits. And it's incredible how much is in there, which is all going to end up on our propeller, which will necessitate a stop and a weed hatch visit. Incredible. Why don't the Eclusiers do something about this? And if they've got the next 6 weeks off, they can have them all clean and clear, as if